Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to showcase one of my favorite medium tanks on tier 9, the Centurion 7-1. What are the strengths of this tank and why do I still not think that it is OP? Let me tell you in this video. The Centurion 7-1 is one of my favorite tier 9 medium tanks. But before we start with the statistics, let me quickly show you how I play this tank. So as you can see, my crew has brothers in arms, has the gun handling skills and is now working on repairs, the loader on intuition and the commander on mentor. So I do not have the concealment skills yet on my crew. I play the tank with improved ventilation class 2, then with the vertical stabilizer, and also with a gun rammer. I have quite a chunk of standard ammunition with its 268mm of penetration and some 25 shells of the hash shell, which is the premium shell with reduced penetration but improved or increased alpha damage. And then despite this, as usual, I do not play the tank with any premium consumables whatsoever. So what are the statistics and what are the strengths of the Centurion 7-1? So Centurion 7-1 in a nutshell. This tank has a slightly above average DPM, a very precise gun with 0.31 dispersion. The aim time is, let's say, average, so this tank does not have a snapshot capability just like the other British medium tech 3 tanks. However, the gun is super precise. If you fully aim in your shots, you will certainly hit where you aim. Plus 268mm of penetration is fantastic for a tier 9 medium tank. Plus you get a superb shell velocity of almost 1500 meters per second. The mobility is average, I would say. 50 kph chop speed is okay. Power to weight ratio of about 19 to 20 is fine. And you get 10 degrees of gun depression. Now the real strength of this tank, apart from its 410 meters of view range, is the armor. So 254mm of armor on the turret, which is great. The drawback of this tank is the concealment value. Only 11.51 stock when the vehicle is stationary, and while on the move it drops down to 8.66. But the real strength, as I said, is the turret armor. So this is the turret armor against the 48mm of penetration of the AMX-30, the tier 9 French medium tank, and you can see that the turret is super strong. So from 250 approximately to more than here there's a little weak spot with only 238, but overall the turret is super strong. Plus, if you use your full 10 degrees of gun depression, you can see that the upper hull also becomes super strong with the beyond 260mm. So this is the strength of this tank. Of course, it becomes a bit weaker if a tank loads premium ammunition. So then, as you can see, your turret becomes I wouldn't say weak, but it becomes certainly weaker as compared to the standard ammunition. So here are some weak spots on the side and as well as on the roof. But once again, if you use your turret armor, I'm sorry, not the turret armor, but the gun depression, then the upper hull becomes a bounce angle, so a ricochet angle. And then there's only this little portion on the side of the tank, which is rather weak. So the turret armor is what makes this tank special, and you should really try to exploit this strength. So how can we make use of the strength of this tank? Well, we are in a top tier situation on Pearl River, and we will simply try to be a bit more flexible and not go to the medium flank, but instead brawl alongside with our heavy tanks. This is what we can do, because on the heavy lane in the northeast of the map, there are perfectly fine hull down capabilities that we can use in our tank. And so we will simply add our firepower to winning this flank. In my opinion, the northern flank is kind of the most important flank on this map, and I would always recommend to try and help your team to win this flank, because more often than not, you will afterwards, if you've won this flank, win the game. So yeah, we will use our mobility and our speed in order to go to this position and then see how it goes. In the adversary team, we have a very slow tier 9 heavy tank, the Moistion, so we will be arriving first. Then we have the Char Future 4, which might also go to this position. And then there's the M46, okay, which is spotted right now in the middle, which is good. The T26E5P, the Patriot, which is a strong hull down tank as well, is also going to the middle, which is good for us. And looks like our Char Future 4 is doing the same thing, which is an excellent gameplay, if you ask me. Of course, he needs to be more cautiously than I do, simply because he does not have the hull armor that I have. I want to peek out here and take a shot. Yes, I might take one in return, but excellent. So as I fall back, I do not get penetrated, which is good. And now the problem that I have is I'm fighting against two super strong hull down heavy tanks, the T34 and the Löwe, so I need to kind of bait those shots, bait those tanks to take a shot, and then as soon as they have taken a shot, I can peek out of cover, expose my hull, but then get a shot into the hull of the T34. The T34 actually has the same, basically the same playstyle. He has a super strong turret with a small cupola and a weak hull, just like I do, so go. Nice, we can take a shot into the cupola, nice. And now I want to fall back, because it looks like the adversary team is making pressure. So I get a shot from the T34, which is okay. But now I can fall back into a safe position. And maybe if the Löwe peeks out... Okay, he's focusing me. So I need to retreat. If he peeks out and tries to push the Char Future 4, then I can help him. That's what I want to do. You always want to try to create crossfire situations with your team in order to be able to fight against the weaker armor of the adversary tanks. Okay, go. Oh, I do not know where this shot went. And I don't know what the Yak Panther 2 is doing. But anyway, that's nice. Let's take a shot onto the Löwe. Nice. He's pushing out the the Char Future 4. Looks like the adversary team is not really knowing what to do. Here you go. Lower hull. Nice. We can take him out. And yeah, so the game appears to be won. I do not want to lose any further HP. Here you go, and a shot onto the hull, nice. And yeah, I think we added our strength to this flank. This meant that we could win the game. We can now take out the T34, excellent. And so yeah, the game is won. Of course, our team also managed to win the middle, which is good, but which is not common if you are very strong on one flank. I take a shot from the Moistion, which is okay. And actually, it doesn't make any damage, which is good. So let's play now aggressively, because after all, we want to get more damage. Maybe we can take out the IS-2. Oh, come on. No. Okay, that was kind of stupid from me. Anyway. So let's wait until the track is repaired and... Can we get some more damage? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. I think I want to fall back because the other tanks are much faster than I am. The MX-30 and the Char Future 4. And so instead of chasing the adversary Artia and the Scorpion G, I want to fall back and head the Kanon Jagdpanzer to defend the base. Because, yeah, we have still two adversary tanks in this position. So I might be able to get one or another shot onto those tanks. So, in a nutshell, as you can see, the Centurion 1, the Centurion 7-1, is a tank with quite some special capabilities. It is a medium tank, so it is relatively mobile, it is relatively flexible. However, the strength of this tank is the hull down capability, and you should always try to exploit this strength on a battlefield. And it gives you quite some unique features, for example, to brawl alongside with your heavy tanks and to win the important flank. Of course, the heavy brawling flank is not always the most important flank on a map. However, sometimes it is on this map. And with the Centurion 7-1, you can really exploit this strength. And overall, we made 3k damage and we helped our team to win the game. Okay, second game in the Centurion 7-1. This time we're spawning in a tier 10 match on Overlord. And let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have in this tank. Spawning on Overlord in the south with the Centurion 7-1, this is how the game usually develops. And usually with the medium tank, I want to go to this position and simply try to get a shot here and there and try to outspot the adversary tanks. However, if your tank is unable to play vision games, then this is not so much of an option. So you can go here, or you simply have to go here and try to play somewhat hull down in this position. So do I think that the Centurion 7-1 is some kind of an OP tank? Too strong for its tier? Well, no. And that has a certain reason. Yes, it can be situationally super strong, as you saw in the first game. However, there are some drawbacks that this tank offers, and that is the poor vision and the poor camo. I mean, those things have a good vision, but the camo value is relatively poor. And so overall, with the Centurion 7-1, just like with the Centurion Action X and the other tanks on its tier, maybe not so much the tier 6 tank, but certainly from tier 7 or tier 8 onwards, those tanks are pretty much unable to play vision games with other medium tanks, simply because the camo value is so bad compared to other medium tanks. Now, on this tank, I have a crew which has not trained the concealment value yet. And you will see the result on this tank. So I'm totally aware of this fact that my tank is pretty bad when it comes to spotting. And so I always drive into a bush and then reverse instantaneously, because I always fear that I am spotted by other medium tanks or other light tanks in the game. And that is something that you have to recognize, or that you have to consider when you're playing this tank. It offers some strength, for example the turret armor, which lets you brawl against other tanks or a ridgeline. However, this comes with a price tag, and the price tag is the very poor spotting capability of this tank. And that is just something that limits this tank, because usually in a medium tank, what you want to do is you want to play vision games. You want to outspot adversary tanks, you want to play offensively and proceed to a strong position which lets you outspot the adversary tanks, as I just said, and then take a shot and then fall back and use your mobility to be an agile tank and to snapshot your opponents. As you saw, I couldn't even outspot the T30 in this position. So this is kind of a good example how bad the spotting ability of this tank actually is. So let us see. I want to surprise the adversary tanks. And let me see. Can I spot somebody else? I want to be very, very cautiously. So I reverse and fall back. Can I take a shot onto this tank? Usually, in any other video that I play with the medium tank on Overlord, you see me go to the G7 position where the gorilla is located. Yeah, here you go. Because from this position I can perfectly play the vision game against the other tanks, and I can just stay there and be somewhat passively, but simply control the middle. But I cannot do this in the Centurion Action X, at least as long as my crew does not have concealment fully skilled to have at least an average camo value. Okay, so I want to fall back. I'm spotted. Hopefully I don't take a shot while I am... Okay, T30 is... need to turn around. That was lucky. Those tanks are already looking for me. And now I want to fall back to the strength of this tank, which is hull down gameplay. So let's knock down this this obstacle here in order to get a free vision onto those tanks. And now hopefully I will be able, with a bit more distance in between me and the other tanks, I will hopefully be able to either outspot them or at least not to get spotted. And this is why I have fallen back. Okay, looks like... Can I go to the other side? Can I fall back? Because once again, if you like... This map is made for... Okay, there are those things. I think I have been spotted. Yes, so I need to retreat once again. And another lucky situation for me. So, yeah. With this tank, you have to be extremely cautiously on a map where playing the vision game is paramount. And this is a limitation quite often in World of Tanks for a medium tank, because it's you might not actually consider this in every game, but let's say in 8 out of 10 games with a medium tank, you automatically revert to playing vision games, and that is simply a thing that the Centurion cannot do, and so a distinct drawback of this tank. So the playstyle of the Centurion 7.1, just like its brothers on tier 8 and tier 10, is you want to play hull down with this tank. It's a pretty one-dimensional gameplay, and this also kind of limits this tank, especially on the tier 9 tank, because the camo value on the tier 10 is, I believe, a little bit better. But yeah, that's just how it is. So I want to go back into this position and see whether I can outspot the T30. The problem is that I cannot make too much pressure, and this simply costs time for my team. So far everything is fine, 3-1, but we'll see if this is enough in this game. So Skoda is there, taken out, excellent, and I think the T30 is already still in this position. Looks like our T30 at the rear of the map on the K lane is advancing, and if he advances, I might be able to advance alongside with him. Because after all, our goal is to clear this flank and to make pressure towards the adversary team. On the beach, there is the object 452K and the Minotauro on the enemy team, and I bet our team will have a hard time pushing those tanks out of cover because they are super strong. Okay, can we get a shot? The other drawback of this tank is the poor DPM. So yeah, yes, of course you have the premium shell, which is a hash shell, so reduced penetration, only 210 versus 268. However, the alpha damage is increased from 390 up to 480. However, I'm not so much a friend of those HE or hash shells, simply because most of the times there is one or another shot that you will not penetrate. And if you simply penetrate, if you do not penetrate one single shot, then let's say you take 4 shots and you do not penetrate one, then it the assumption is that you could have done better with only using the standard ammunition, which is APCR. So that's the drawback of this ammunition, and why I do not like to use hash or HE whatsoever. And I would rather prefer this tank with, let's say, heat with about 300 or 320 millimeters of penetration compared to the hash shell. Okay, fortunately this Cobra is shooting HE and is not penetrating me, only doing 110, 162 damage, and now we could take him out with the help of the T30. I lost quite some HP nonetheless, which is bad, but what can you do? The good thing is that a strong medium tank could be taken out of the game, which is good, and now maybe I have a spotting advantage over the Tortoise, which is hopefully still in this position. We will see. So I will peek around the corner and then hopefully get the help of the T30. However, he is falling back. Tortoise is not in this position anymore. And so yeah, as you can see, the game has turned around 7-7. And the problem is, once again, that we cannot play the vision game against all the other tanks. Otherwise, we could make so much more pressure on this flank, and we could maybe even dominate this flank and then get map control and then fall into the rear of the adversary tanks. So that is a game that I wanted to show you in order to point out the disadvantages of this tank. You get a very good precise gun, at least if you fully aim in your shots. Keep in mind those British medium tanks do not have so much a snapshot capability. You get a super penetration value, you get a strong turret armor which lets you play hull down. So you get the option of brawling against heavy tanks on the heavy flank if you have a hull down option. But on the other hand, your spotting capability is significantly reduced, which kind of limits this tank and which kind of equals it out. So that's what I wanted to point out. Can we get a shot into this tank? Unfortunately, that was not thoroughly aimed. And now, yeah, I still want to play cautiously because I've lost half of my HP and I do not want to waste my tank because I think it's necessary at the end of the game. However, it simply costs time to not be able to play aggressively. But that's just how it is. The T-30 is doing a great job opening up a crossfire situation on the other side. So let us see. Nice. Object 452K is falling back so we can get one shot. Now, the reload time of approximately 10 seconds is not too much of a drawback in certain situations, simply because you have to spend around 10 seconds anyway to not be spotted anymore. So I do not feel that this is too much of a drawback, except if you are in a situation in which you want to out DPM your opponent, and if in a situation in which you want to play aggressively. So yeah. Let us fall back because I want to fall back and set up a defensive position against the adversary push of the oooBRUCEooo and the tortoise, because I think it is necessary to stop this advance. Meanwhile, our team has lost the beach and all the other positions in between, so the 4 lane and also the 6 lane. Not a surprise, actually. And you know what? If they are still in this position, I might also be able to flank around and then to attack them from the side, maybe together with the T-30, if he can open up a crossfire situation. That's always what you want to do if you are playing against strongly armored tanks. So okay, once again I'm spotted. So yeah, that is the problem of the Centurion 1. That is so much of a problem because, yeah, after all, World of Tanks is an ego shooter, and it all comes down to not getting spotted and to spot the other tanks so that one can take them under fire. That is just how it is. So, what can we do? Okay, looks like is he peeking out? Hopefully not. Meanwhile, we are once again simply losing time. However, I mean, I need to okay, now he's peeking over, and is he peeking out? Hopefully not. The problem is that if I simply advance and throw away my tank, there's no benefit whatsoever. So can I take a shot? No, unfortunately not. At least we get some assisting damage. Tortoise has repositioned itself, so maybe we can now... Okay, I'm spotted. As you can see, I'm always spotted. There's not a single way. Nice, we can track him. There's not... And then we get this sweet assisting damage of the T-30. Excellent. So we now take him out. Let's see... Nice. Okay, we take a shot from the oooBRUCEooo, but we could take out the object 452K, which is good. And now we're 2v1 against the oooBRUCEooo. So nice. The oooBRUCEooo is taken out by the T-30. Thanks a lot, Mr. T-30. Good job. And yeah, so okay, he's... Yeah. As soon as I'm peeking out of cover, I get spotted. Now, once again, I have to say that my crew has not skilled concealment yet, and maybe it's a mistake that my crew does not have this skill yet, because as you can see, it is super important. It is such a drawback if you're constantly spotted as soon as you peek out of cover. But that's just how it is. So if you play the Centurion 7-1, you might consider even taking concealment prior to, let's say, the gun handling skills, simply because you want to get rid of this distinct drawback. Alright. Where's Mr. Tortoise? Unfortunately, I'm down to being one-shottable due to the hit of the oooBRUCEooo 3. Here go. There's the Centurion, and I think I need to take him out. Nice. Let's fall back. So yeah, we could win the flank. We could kind of decide the game. However, the problem is that time is running out. Can we take a shot onto the RT? Let's fully aim in the shot. Otherwise, we will not hit. So yeah, there's the Jagdpanzer, and the problem is that we do not have enough time to win the game. So it simply took too long to win our flank. And yeah, so this is why I wanted to show you this game, because it is a good example of the limitations of this tank. So I really like this tank. I think it is situationally super strong, like in the previous game. However, there are some limitations, and I simply wanted to point them out because I think it kind of adds to the whole story of the Centurion 7-1. Alright, third and last game with the Centurion 7-1. Once again, a top tier situation, and let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on Westfield in the north with the Centurion 7-1, you have several options. You can go down to the medium flank and maybe go here. In my opinion, the tank is not fast enough to push all the way down to the K0 position. However, in my opinion, due to the hull down strength of this tank, what you want to do is on this map you want to go here and support your heavy tanks to win this hull down position, because that's what this tank is built for. Yeah, so of course with the Centurion 7-1 I want to play hull down, and I want to go to the heavy brawling area and play hull down and help my team to win this side of the map. On Westfield, in my opinion, the heavy lane is relatively important, and I would say 50% of the time the team which wins the heavy lane actually wins the game. Of course, the medium flank is also important. However, you can set up a defensive position, plus rushing into the K0 position is only beneficial if you can really make sure that you have the advantage on your side. So yeah, let's try to go to the... Okay, there's the convoy playing super aggressively, hopefully. Okay, that was... And there's the ISU 152. Okay, hopefully, let's turn around. Whew, that was lucky. Lucky that the convoy could not penetrate us, plus lucky that the ISU 152 could not take a shot. Otherwise, it would have been a completely different game. Okay, nice. Play hull down here. Excellent against those two tanks. Nice, he's taken out of the game instantaneously. Bam. Okay, WoTO gets a... Alright, WoTO gets a shot onto us, a second shot. So I need to evade out of this situation, and I need to play a bit more to the north from where the WoTO cannot actually hit and penetrate me. Alright. Looks like the WoTO is in the... somewhere in the G4, G5 position. Anyway, convoy. Yeah, I thought I could penetrate the convoy with the HESH shell. However, on one side the gun mantlet on the convoy is relatively strong. On the other side, HE and HESH rounds are simply not reliable. And as soon as you do not penetrate your HESH shell, you basically have made a bad decision, because let's say out of 4 shells, if you're chosen to shoot 4 times APCR, then you make 4 times 390 alpha damage, compared to only 3 times 390 alpha damage and 1 times 0. Anyway, so we want to continue to play hull down. Can we take a shot onto the cupola? Nice, that was a pretty lucky shot onto the huge cupola of the Renegade. Let's now fall back. I always want to fall back quite a distance, simply to make sure that the adversary artillery player does not focus me. Okay, there's the T-30. I do not want to play hull down against the T-30, because if he selects premium ammunition, he might even be able to take a shot onto my turret. He's taken out by our T-30, which is great. Okay. Let me see. 4-2. Game looks rather nice. I will be... Okay. Convoy is turning around. I will be able to play hull down against the convoy simply because I have the turret armor and he does not. So let me see. APCR is loaded, so I should be able to penetrate the tank with the next shot. Looks like the Tiger Mouse is trying to flank around. Hopefully... Nice. Okay, we take a shot. That was once again a bit lucky. I didn't see this coming early enough. However, we could take a shot onto the Tiger Mouse. He could not, which is good. Here you go. Okay, that was unfortunate. We bounced at the side. There's the convey. Okay, fortunately he misses the shot against the T-30, which is good. And now he wants to fall back, but maybe I am fast enough in order to take a shot onto him. Here you go. Nice, another shot. Actually a high roll with the APCR, 477. So he's now down to being one-shottable. Looks like we have won the game. However, we want to still clear the northern flank. And get a shot. Here you go. Nice shot onto the WZ-111. So yeah, this is the hull down strength of this tank, which you always should seek to exploit. You see, this is the gameplay of the Centurion 7-1. And I kind of like this gameplay. However, it comes with some drawbacks, as you saw in the previous game. So, whereas, for example, a tank like the Kampfpanzer 50T is a very flexible tank with decent mobility, good gun, good hull down capabilities, but also able to play the vision game, this tank is actually not. And I would go so far to say that, for example, a tank like the AMX-30 is the overall stronger tank, simply because, yeah, it has less armor. However, the armor of the AMX-30 lets you also bounce a shot here and there, and plus you can perfectly play vision games, plus you get a better mobility. So all in all, I think this is the better tank. And the AMX-30 is, by the way, a collector's tank, so it's not part of the regular tech tree of the French line anymore. So you have to unlock a tier 9 French tank, and then you can go to the collector's shot and take the and purchase the AMX-30. Can we get another shot? Another shot, nice. We even bounced the shot of the T-54, 2,700 damage in this game. And yeah, I mean, with the low DPM, it's not that you can dominate the game within only a couple of minutes. However, due to your armor, you can really defend a ridgeline. And okay, that was pretty bad trade. But you can really hold the position and nonetheless dominate a ridgeline. Let me see. My aiming is pretty bad. So there was a trade 1-for-1, and now he's down to being one-shottable, which is good. Okay, looks like he's hiding, and you know what? I do not want to take another shot. So let's play more defensively. Let's see. Looks like the T-30 is advancing. Our artillery misses yet another time. And let me see. Looks like our Tiger Mouse is also making pressure. Our G-Saw is finally advancing. He should have played much more offensively earlier on in the battle. We can maybe take a shot onto the Tiger Mouse into the lower plate. Let's see. Yep, nice. Bam, he's taken out. We bounced the shot of the 111-14, which is excellent. And now he's taken out. Excellent. So yeah, I think 3.4k damage. And yeah, this is the gameplay that you want to do in the Centurion 7-1. You want to look for a place where you can play hull down, no matter if it is on the medium flank or on the heavy flank. You simply want to exploit the strength of your tank, which is hull down gameplay. So can we take another shot onto the object 432? See, and bam, we can take out this tank. So 3.7k. All in all, I really have to say that I like to play this tank, just like I like to play my Leopard PTA and my AMX-30. And yeah, I think the British tech tree line is now a very great line to play. It is very consistent. It is, I would say, strong. The tier 10 tank is phenomenally good. And so yeah, I can really recommend to play this tank and to play the British medium tech tree line. Alright guys, that was it for today with the video about the Centurion 7-1. What do you think about this tank? Do you like it? Do you like the British medium tank tech tree? Do you also think it is definitely worth grinding? Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. And as always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. This really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. If you find this video extremely helpful, then feel free to support me via Super Thanks. This way you can make a one-time donation. You just have to click this button underneath the video. If you adore this channel and you want to consistently support me, then consider subscribing to my channel or become a member, once again with the click of a button underneath the video. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time in another World of Tanks video.